This is the Central Florida Mid-Market Report for everything real estate. My name is George Philbeck, and this is my talented wife, Jacquie Sosa. Jacquie?
Yeah, it's not good.
This is.
We're just going to bottom line it for you. It's really not good.
So there's some indicators we're looking at today that are that cause us some great concern. We're really optimistic about everything, but this is a little bit.
We're usually optimistic, but when we supply you with the facts, it's like, we got to bring it back down and just say it's kind of bleak.
So stick around. You're going to want to know this data. There's some good information in here. And as always, if you would be so kind.
Thank you.
Because you want this information. We do it on a monthly basis. We do it on a bi-weekly basis. So you have the right information at your fingertips if you're either buying or selling. Let's jump into it. As we always do, we have graphs with data put together. And the first thing we want to talk about is the number of sold homes that went under contract last month compared to the rest of the last 2 years.
All right, let's start with a look at the big board. And of course, we are concentrating on the number of homes sold. Let's look at the far right column, which is April. And as you can see, in April 2024, we've had 3,186 homes. Now let's take a look at April 2023. That number is 3,343 homes sold. So on the surface, that might look good, but remember, we've had interest rates increase over the past year. Okay, so now let's take a look at how that compares to April of 2022. And wow, you can see 4,011 homes sold that month. But remember, the interest rate back then was just under 5%.
Jacquie, we had 3,000 homes sold each month, and then there was 4,000. So really, we're down by about 25% 2 years ago. Most of this is due to the inflated interest rates. As you said, it was just under 5%, and we're going to cover that in a couple seconds. There's a lot of people out there that are scared, and we've never said this before, but I think they probably should be a little bit. Do you agree?
Scared because what was your thoughts specifically on why?
Okay, so my concern is that we may be entering into something that is very similar to a bubble, and we're actually going to put a video at the end of this one that we're going to talk more about that, and it really kind of covers the doom and the gloom that may be coming. But this is real spooky. Our inventories are going up, which is normally on the surface good, but our interest rates are going up. We're going to cover that in a minute. Would you buy right now?
I would not buy right now.
Why?
Unless I absolutely had to, because the interest rates are too high.
Now, I'm going to caveat that. If you're going to buy over the next, and you're going to be here for the next 5 years.
You got to hold, right?
Totally good. If you've got anything short term, don't. If you're thinking of selling, what would you tell everybody?
To sell, because you're going to get the most amount of money.
We may have a little bit of a correction coming up. More on that in a couple minutes. Let's go to our average sale price. Take a look at that. I'm going to start us over on the far right-hand side, and what I hate to see completely is an elevated sales price yet again. And we are almost at an all-time high, which was just under $475,000, and that was in the month of June 2023. We expect that to always go up in the summer months. We just raised our prices again to $468,731. We are still going up, and I expect we're going to continue to go up in next month and the month after as well. We normally see a rise through May and June, and then it starts to level out. Let's go back and take a look at what this is telling us. If we continue to have a rise in inventory as we did from January, February, March, and April, keeps going up, we're going to set an all-time record high, and that's not good. All right, next thing we want to take a look at
are the days on market.
And this is going to show us how long it takes for a home to go from the day it hits the market until it has an accepted contract. Now, there's a caveat, though. Days on market doesn't show the inventory level. And before we do that, why don't we showcase what's happening with our inventory level, the number of active homes, because it's going up.
All right, let's look at that. Take a look at our inventory level of March of 2022. We had 2,478 homes available.
That was a crazy time when you literally could put a sign in the yard and a home would sell like instantly.
Like that,
yeah. And that's changed dramatically. In fact, let's go back and take a look at this.
Just 1 year later, fast forward, and we had 5,052 homes available. And then we jumped in March of 2024, and look at that, 8,971 homes available. Just skyrocketed.
That's 9,000 homes. We've been up, it's 180% increase over 2022 because of the interest rates,
yes,
which we're going to cover in just a couple seconds, because of the pricing, which has gone through the roof, which is going to affect our affordability. We're going to cover that. That's the thing that I'm most concerned with. That's what causes me to have that bubble concern. So let's go back to the big graph and see what we're talking about. What we're looking at is days on market. And while this paints a picture that might be a good one, starting at the right-hand side, you'll notice that the days on market has dropped from 52 days on market to 49 days on market. Now that's good. We want less days on market. That means homes are selling. There's more buyers out there. But because our inventory goes up, that means that well-priced homes are selling, but the ones that aren't are sitting for much longer.
Yeah, sellers need to make a price adjustment. We always tell them that. It's not like 2022 anymore.
Well, and this is a great opportunity. So at the end of this video, we do a market update, which is a monthly update for anybody that's interested in knowing what your home's value is in the current market. And it's pretty static. It's just we take your address and we pull out some comparables. But I'm going to do you one better if you're interested. And at the end of this video, it'll explain a little bit about it. And there's a form down below. If you want to just give me your name and your address, I will create one. And I'll tell you the 3 homes an appraiser is going to use to determine your value. It's relevant in this market to know what's going on. So if you're considering that it might be important information, consider jumping down there and putting your information in. I'll fill it out for you, and I'll do you one better. I'll make a customized one for you. Let's take a look at the days on market graph one more time. Now go to 2022, and what do we normally see in April, May, and June? The market goes down. And in 2023, with the exception of May, you see it drop down through July. We're starting to see that trend with our March and April trend of it going down at the end of this graph. We expect that we'll continue to see the days on market drop a little bit, but what we're most interested in now is what are the interest rates and what is the affordability. So with no further ado, let's get to interest rates.
Okay, so we determine the interest rates by looking at a credit score of 740 with 20% down for a conventional loan. We just searched that on Google, and what we're finding for this report is the interest rate is 7.59%.
Now, before we show that to you on the graph, it's important to note as well that we know that this is a little bit higher, but it's very consistent. So we get to see the trends more than anything. Can you get better rates? Absolutely. Our lenders are lending a lot lower than this, but this is a national average that's formulated by Google. So it's consistent and shows the trends. Let's take a look. So the very first thing that pops up in your mind is the October 2023 interest rate of 8.33. We are further down than that. However, these interest rates are still way too high, and we are still trying to fight inflation.
We've talked about inflation before, and we can bombard you with 1,000 articles that show that inflation hasn't changed. It's something that's trying to be combated, but it's still an ongoing problem. I'm sure you're getting emails about it all the time.
So let's take a look at the graph because this is showing us what's happening with it and where it's trending. There isn't a whole lot of trend. It seems to stay pretty much the same, and until they get that corrected, it is not going to change our affordability that much. We've got our prices still going up. Our interest rates are staying, they're way too high at this point. So affordability, which is the indicator of how healthy a market is, well, let's look. Okay, before we get started looking at this, although it's terrifying, the most important number to remember is anything above the 50% line is completely unaffordable.
What we use for our base is a household income of $100,000.
And to determine affordability, we use principal and interest only on the mortgage based on the dollar amount of the average sale price as well as the mortgage rate. What does that calculate out to? It doesn't include student debt, car loans. Anything will affect your debt to income ratio, which is what we're showing in these percentages. If it's over 50% income, you're not getting a loan, which means any household that's making under $100,000, they're not getting a loan for our average prices. We are unaffordable. And we went up, what did we say, 170% in the number of homes available, but our asking price on homes back in 2019 was $252,000. We are currently at well into the 400,000s. This is nuts.
I just gotta say, I'm so glad we live here. I'm glad that we purchased when we did in Florida, because
100%.
I do feel badly for the people who want to move here and they just can't. They can't. Or their expectations are they think that Florida, specifically Orlando, they think it's very affordable, very cheap.
Well, we still are the most affordable place in Central Florida.
But not compared to what they're thinking about, 5 years ago. And I'm like, no, you're not going to get that. I just have to be honest.
So inflation's hit everybody, and that's unfortunate. You take that however you want. I hate this inflation. We had to do it because we spent too much money. Let's go back to the big board. 55.4%, and it keeps ticking up. And it ticks up because our average sale price keeps ticking up. Our interest rate keeps ticking up. And all of us as buyers and sellers are paying the price. Now here's the bad news. Remember, If you like
If that
this,
wasn't bad enough.
if you want this kind of information, you want real data that talks about what's happening instantly. We do this. This is the first of the month. This is May 1st, and we put this information together all morning to make sure you have real data. This is dicey. We're in the best time of year to buy and sell a home, and truth be told, it's at least 25% slower than it was. Fair?
Absolutely fair.
And it's probably going to get worse come July. If you're interested in selling, sell now. If you're interested in buying, there's things out there. For the buyers, think of a 2-1 buy down. You can buy your interest rates down 2% the first year, 1% the second year. It will cost you about 1% of the overall cost of the home, but oh my God, that's a huge savings. It makes it massively affordable, and sellers, cover your ears, but you can ask the sellers for that contribution.
And also new construction. There's a lot of new construction prices are going down, and sometimes depending on the builder, they will offer you like an introductory rate if you use their mortgage company of 1.99, and then they escalate it over time. But that's another way to go.
And you can of course do a refi on that. Everybody can refi as these come down. I'm not getting political on this, but at some point, whoever's taking over this, whoever the politicians are that are taking over after this next election, it's going to be a challenge for anybody. There's a lot of work to be done to put us back into the right place. This is a hunker down time. If you're staying in your home, you're able to stay there. If you want to buy, buy. New construction's a great option. Buy, but buy your rates down, because interest will come down probably closer to the election for sure. And so our gas price, everything else, yay, but it's a challenge. Call on us. That's what we're here for. Our job is to give you great advice, not to try and sell you anything or make you buy or sell. We want you to be informed so that you make the right decisions for you and your family, right?
Absolutely, all the time.
So on behalf of myself and
me, I'm just me.
We'll
Make
see
it a
you
great
real
day.
soon. And remember, hit the subscribe button.
Bye.
So the reports that we create for our friends and our family include obviously the information about the home, as well as the current estimated value, as you're seeing on these 2 pages. Now, we also go a lot deeper into home facts and the extended home facts as well. And this allows us to really refine our value. And you'll actually see that the last page we're going to talk about is the refined home value, which includes some adjustments that would be made as well. Now, this is a 81-page report that will be sent to you that is very specific to your home, your community, and everything else. It is important that you have all the facts when making such an important decision.